This week in the field, answering your questions in a Q&A session. Hi everyone, I'm Scott Davenport and welcome to In the Field, doing Q&A this week. And as you can tell, I'm not in my normal studio. I'm traveling right now, but it was a good time to sit down and answer a few questions that have been coming in over the last few weeks. So let's just get right into them. So the first question for today came from Bruce, and he asked, what mapping tool do I use when scouting for locations? And you see that in the field videos. It's this 3D mapping tool that I use. So the answer is that's just Apple Maps. It's built into OS X. And if you're not a Mac user, if you have an iPhone, you have Apple Maps and it works the same exact way. Or you could try out Google Earth if you're on a PC. But anything just to get a feel of actually standing in a location and being able to spin around in certain degrees, that'll help you pre-visualize the shots you can get. So I use Apple Maps because it's what I have and it's what's built into my operating system. Next question is from Jim, and he asked a two-part question. What is the best place to focus during a sunset, and what's the best aperture? So the first thing is there's no best. Best is an illusion. It's really what do you want to create with your photo. Now, some general rules. I typically start around f11 for any landscape really, and fine tune it from there based on what's going on in the scene. If the background can be softer, such as it's more sky and the clouds are soft, I don't have to go to f16 or anything like that to get the depth of field. Conversely, if you're in the mountains or you're in a desert scene or the sky is downplayed and there's something in the distance you still want that crisp detail, you may go to f16. Now, for where to focus, general rule, about 1/3 of the way into the image, and that means 1/3 of the distance. So don't look at your viewfinder and just go 1/3 of the way up. You need to consider what's in your scene and how close and how far away things are. It really depends on what you want to accentuate with the photo. If you have a strong foreground subject, focus on that. You want to make sure that is very, very sharp because that's close to your camera. That's probably what's going to attract your viewer's eye, and you want that to be in focus. And a last choice is to take several shots focused at different depths into your scene, so your foreground element, something in the midground, and then finally the background, and use a technique like focus stacking to blend those together. Last question, also a two-parter from Paul in the UK. He asks, when and where do you crop, and what about your crop formats? And the reason I'm talking about this within the field is the first place I crop is in camera. I try to get the framing of everything properly in camera. Now, there are certain scenes where you don't quite get it right, or once you've gotten your images back into your computer, you look at them and go, yeah, this could use a little bit of tweaking. I want it to be tighter, or I want it to be wider, like a panorama or a 16:9. So what drives the choice for cropping? For me, I am not married to standard, quote-unquote, standard crop formats. Our old print formats, 8:10, 5:7, 16:9 for your wide-angle video screens. It's more about what's the best crop for my composition. And the reason for that is 99% of my work, and probably 99% of your work, is viewed on a screen. Someone's mobile device, someone in a web browser. And matching up to a print crop factor for that medium doesn't make sense to me. So I don't care as much about cropping to a predetermined ratio. Crop to make your composition the strongest. Now, certainly if you're planning to print, you need to crop to match your print size, whatever that is going to be. But yeah, I have a couple of videos on the site. I think they're in the Lightroom Learning Center. Actually, I know they're in the Lightroom Learning Center. And it's about cropping and how you can use crop overlays to help you fine-tune your composition while you're cropping in Lightroom. That's it for this week in the field. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A. I'd love to get more of your questions. Send them to me through my website. I respond to whoever sends the questions in right away, so you're not going to have to wait around until I finally sit down in some random hotel room to record a Q&A session. So you'll get an answer straight away, and then I'll collect a bunch of them up and share them with everyone else so that hopefully others benefit from this as well. Until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Happy shooting.